exciting or was that exciting? Yes, that was very exciting. Yes, yes, yes. I am Franz Peter Schubert. Yes, I've been dead for 194 years. Yes, yes, I look pretty good for my age, don't I? Yeah, yeah. It's because I like to party. Yeah, I like to party. So, you know, that's what a Schubertiad is. It is a party. You go to the party, you drink some wine, you flirt with the lovely women, you sing some Schubert songs, like my Schubert song, and yes, and you have a really, really good time. This is a picture of a Schubertiad right there, okay? I've got this magic wand right here. The game is very exciting. And this is very good. Okay, can you see? Oh, that's me right there. There's Schubert. There's Schubert sitting at the piano, yeah. And here's my friend Michael Vogel. He was a big proponent of my songs. He sang them everywhere. And then back here at the back, we have some of my other friends right here. Here's Spawn right here, and here is Schubert, one of my really good friends right there. And then the supervisor right back here on the other side. Now these three guys right back here are making fun of this picture. Oh yeah, they're making fun of the picture. They think it's very, very funny. They are such jokers, those boys. They're such jokers. Schubert told me a joke. You want to hear it? Yeah, okay. Here's the joke. The joke is, why is Schubert like a snapdragon? Oh, you give up? Okay, I tell you. Because something in Schubert has snapped, and the rest of Schubert is dragon. It's a pretty tough crowd you are. Okay, yes, and anyway, enough of all this funny business right here. Professor Davis has put together a very nice timeline in your program. It's a very, very nice timeline. It's very official. It's got all the right numbers in it. It's wonderful. You can look at it in your program. But what they wanted me to do was to come and talk a little bit about what my real life was like instead of just what my official life was like. So here goes the real life. The real life goes, I was born in a little suburb of Vienna called Lichtental in 1797. Now, I was one of 5 children born to my daddy, who was a schoolmaster, and my mom, who had a total of 14 children. Yes, infant mortality was a real thing back in my time. Yes, a real thing. I turned out to be very, very talented. My brother taught me piano. My father taught me violin. I learned how to play the organ at church. And pretty soon, word filtered up to the Royal Choir. And they wanted me to come for the Royal Choir. Now that's the Royal Choir of Leopold II. You know that Royal Choir now as the Vienna Boys Choir. Oh yes, big stuff, absolutely big stuff. And so I'm in the Vienna Boys Choir, and they also pay your tuition for the best university in all of Austria, which is Emperor Leopold's University. And I did very well there. Of course, I'm the kid of a schoolmaster, so of course I do well in general subjects. I'm really good at that. But I excel in violin. I excel at conducting the orchestra. Oh yeah, I'm a good conductor too, yeah. And I'm a very good composer. While I am at the school, my mentor is Salieri. You know Salieri, that guy who was the rival of Mozart? And by the way, he did not poison him. I have that officially, he did not poison him. And he absolutely was the teacher for a great deal of time to Beethoven. Things went very, very well for a long time. But it was not all beer and Skittles. Yeah, you see how I work that English phrase in there, beer and Skittles? Yeah? He's still a tough crowd. Okay, and so I eventually figured out that really what I was going to have to do after all this happened is that I was going to have to move along and move my life along. In 1809, Napoleon shelled my school. Cannonballs, big ones, cannonballs. In 1813, my voice broke. Yeah. no more quiet for me. I could not do that anymore. So my dad said, well, why don't you come? You can teach in the school. So he sent me off to teacher's college. Yeah, does this surprise you? That even in my time, you had to go to teacher's college. It's just like going to the education department over here to get your teaching certificate. It's exactly the same. I'm very surprised, actually. And after that, I went to teach in my dad's school. Now, imagine this. We have a little apartment. I mean, it's not a very big apartment. We have a little apartment, and inside every single little room in our apartment, it is shoulder to shoulder with little boys dressed up in military uniforms. Yeah. It was awful. It was the most awful thing you could possibly imagine. I could not stand it. Music was my only solace, and I composed with a fever all the time. Unfortunately, I sometimes composed when I was supposed to be teaching, but I composed all the time. In 1815 was one of my biggest years. In 1815, 2 symphonies, 2 masses, 4 musical theater works, and 145 songs, including my most famous song of all, Erlkönig, all in that 1 year. Well, I could talk about myself almost indefinitely, but I think maybe I won't. So they told me to summarize. Yes, in fact, they even gave me a piece of paper that tells me how I'm supposed to do it. Yeah. So here's my instructions on what I'm supposed to do. First of all, they did a very German thing. They broke my life down into categories. Yeah. It's not a real life, it's just categories. So here's my first category. Friends. I was a friend's friend. I liked people and they liked me. After leaving home, I mostly moved from friend to friend and never moved back home or taught until my money ran out or until I got sick. Romance. I admired women. I even proposed once. But all of my letters, except to my mom, are to men. Money. Oh, I was terrible with it. I could not keep it in my pocket. I would write something new and then I'd sell it for cheap because I wanted today's wine. I was a real musician in every way. Fame. I never became famous in my own time. Unlike Mozart or Beethoven, who would write a new piece, and then after they wrote the piece, they would have a public concert, sell tickets, and make a fortune. In my lifetime, I had 1 public concert dedicated to my music, and that is all, just 1. I think you can see where there could be a little problem with me and money. I always thought that my musical theater works would make me a fortune. Opera composers make a fortune in my time. What is the problem? I tried to write 14 operas, and of my 14 operas, none of them had more than 5 performances. Yeah, I did not make any money from that. How many songs? Well, the truth is, I don't know how many songs I wrote. And the reason I really don't know is because I didn't keep track of them, and I have a tendency to lose things. That symphony right back there, I lost 2 whole movements to that symphony. I don't know. They say that some servants built a fire with it. I don't know, but not good. But at least we know that I have at least 600 songs. In the New Gross Dictionary of Music, my songs are a full 18 pages. Yes, 18 pages. Shortness of life. Oh, yeah. My illness was 6 years long, and that's a long time to be ill. But during that time, some of my greatest work was done. The Unfinished Symphony, that symphony you heard right there. The Quartet Satz, another case of my losing things, I lost part of that too. The song cycles, Die Schöne Müllerin, Winterreise, and Schwanensgesang were all written during those horrible 6 years. I've come to believe that it's not how long you live, it's how much you live that counts. And I lived a lot in my 31 years. For me, everything was possible because of my dedication to my art. That is, music made it possible for me to get through those difficult times and made it possible for me to write the works that I left for you to listen to. I think that my friend Schubert probably summed it up best of all in his poetry. He wrote some lovely lyric poetry about our dedication to music. And I thought the poem was actually good enough to go ahead and set it to music. So I did. I set it to music. It's An die Musik. Would you like to hear it? Yeah? Yeah? Would you like to hear it? All right, here we go.